How we doing, folks? Mr. Carter here, ready to do home linked 812. Go ahead and put your name on this if you haven't yet already, and let's begin. So with this one, we have number tile computation. So to get ready for this homework, what I've done is on the bottom there were some squares, and I went ahead and cut those up already so that they're ready to go. And I also put some tape down on the, you kind of see it's a little sticky, there so that when I place my numbers, they'll stay put. But you don't have to do that. You can use the numbers and kind of switch them around if you need to. What I've also done is I've organized the numbers by the problem that, the numbers that are needed for each problem. So for example, for number 1, over here it's asking for numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. So that's what I went ahead and did over here. I just put 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 together so that they're quick for me to get, and you might want to do that also. So we need to use, for number 1, now the reason why we're doing all this is because we need to make sure that we're using all the tiles, because we're only going to use each of the 20 tiles only once. So we can't use the tiles more than once. So once we use them, they're done. All right. So now we have to use numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 to make the largest sum. Now in order to do that, you want to put your highest value numbers in the highest place value. So we want to make sure that that 9 is in the hundreds place, because that means it's 900. So if we put, like, let's say 1, for example, then it would only be worth 100. So we want the largest value in that hundreds place. And the same thing going down to the tens and the ones. So we want the highest value of the remaining numbers in the tens, and then so on and so on. So the next two highest value numbers are 7 and 5. So I'm going to go ahead and put 7 up on top. We get 970, and then 970 something plus 50 something, because if we want that 5 again to be worth 50. And I'll put the 3 here. And then the last one is 1. So it's going to be 973 plus 51. So we go ahead and do out the problem. So 3 plus 1 would be 4. 7 plus 5 is 12. You carry that 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. So the answer is 1,024. Now for number 2, we want to take all the even numbered tiles, so 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8, to make the smallest difference. So we want to make sure that out of these numbers, we want to make sure that that difference is the smallest. So I'm going to start with the highest number we can use here up at the top, which would be, actually we want one of the smaller numbers here. So we're going to make it 200 and 4. Oops. The reason I'm making it 204 is because that's the highest number we can go with and subtract the most, which would, to subtract the most, we'd have to subtract 86, because those are the two highest value numbers. That's why we're putting the 8 and the 6 on the bottom, because that's the greatest number we can take away. So and then out of the remaining numbers, what's left is the smallest number possible. So that's why we want to take those larger digits, because that's what we're taking away, and put them in the bottom number. And then we want to make the top number the smallest number possible. So if we subtract, we go 4, take away 6, we can't do that, so we got to trade. We can't trade from the 0, so we got to go all the way to the 2. So make that a 1. This now becomes 10. 10 take away, and then we got to trade that 10 to make it a 9, and that will now become 14. 14 take away 6 will be 8. 9 take away 8 is 1, and then so we're left with 118. Okay, number 3. So now we want to use the digits 0, 4, 6, and 8 to make the largest product. So again, just like what we were adding, we want to use the numbers to make the biggest value possible. So we want the 8 and the 6 to be in our tens place. So I'm going to put the 8 up here and the 6 on the bottom number. There we go. Put the 6 down here. And then we're just going to put the 0 next to the 8. It doesn't really matter. Where does 0 and the 4 go? Because they both work, the 0 and 4. So now 80 times 64, I'm going to have you solve that, and because you know how to do that, and you can make it, figure out what the largest product is. Alright, so now using the number tiles 1, 2, 5, and 7, we want to make the smallest whole number quotient. And the answer may have a remainder. So again, we want to divide by the largest number possible, which is 7. So that's going to be what we're going to divide by over here. Because again, we want it to be the smallest number. And then what we need to do is take the remaining digits and come up with the smallest number, which would be 125. So that would be 125 divided by 7. Because again, we want to take the largest number and divide it by that. And we want to make the rest the smallest number possible. So go ahead and figure that out. And we won't do the math on that one, but you can do that. And now what's left, all we have left are the 9 and the 3. So we only have 2 digits left. Answer the following questions using only the unused tiles, which would be 9 and 3, and write number sentences to show your work. So the largest answer you can find with the digits 9 and 3 would have to be 9 times 3, and I can't write because I put 2 there. So we could go 9 times 3, that would give you 27. Because if you're adding, then 9 plus 3 would only be 12. And obviously if you're subtracting, you're going to get less, and dividing, you're going to get less numbers. So now what's the smallest answer you can find? Well, if you went 3 divided by 9, that would give you 1/3. That is, my friends, the smallest number answer you can find. Alright, so now we're going to do our practice. In our practice, we're adding mixed numbers together. So I'm going to do 6 and 7 for you, and I'll have you do 8 and 9 on your own, see how you do with those. So for 6, we're adding 4 and 3/5 plus 3 and 4/5. So I'm going to clump my whole numbers together. So we're going to go 4 plus 3. I'm going to take my fractions, put those together. So 3/5 plus 4/5. So now we got 4 plus 3 is 7. And 3/5 plus 4/5 is 7/5. Now if we break those down into whole numbers, one whole number is 5/5. That leaves us with 2/5. We got 1 and 2/5. So we're going to add that 1 to the 7 to make it 8 and, equals 8 and 2/5. So that's the answer here. 8 and 2/5. And over here we have 1 and 5/8 plus 3 and 5/8. So I'm going to again clump my whole numbers. So 1 plus 3 and 5 plus 5/8 plus 5/8. 1 and 3 is 4. 5/8 and 5/8 would be 10/8. Can we decompose that into 8/8? So then we're left with 2 more 8s. So that gives us a whole and 2 8s. So 4 plus 1 is 5 and 2 8s. So that's 5 and 2 8s. And that'll do it for now. If you have any questions, please come and see me. And I hope this was helpful. Take care.